Hello and welcome. You're watching Markets Today. I'm Sakshi Batra, and this is where we discuss everything about the stock market's opening action. And here is what the markets have opened like. Well, in the green, after 4 consecutive days of the benchmarks losing in trade, we are seeing some green upticks in today's trading session, the last trading day of the week. But will it turn out to be as positive as we are hoping for, or will it continue the downward trend and the second half will again pull back all the kind of gains that we have seen? Well, that remains to be seen, but let's quickly tell you what the texture of the market is looking like. The markets opened higher despite the lower close for the Wall Street and also the weaker opening of the Asian markets as well. The Sensex was up 280 points or 0.5% in trade to hover around 53,000. 696. The Nifty also was up 84 points or 0.5% higher. It opened above the 16,000 levels, is hovering near 16,023 right now. About 1,300 shares are seen advancing, whereas 428 shares are seen declining right in the early trading action. About 93 shares remain unchanged in the early trade. So the market breadth clearly favors the bulls at this point in time. What remains to be seen is whether the trend will continue through the day. We are seeing some stocks that are in focus. HUL, Bharti Airtel, Tata Motors, SBI, IndusInd Bank, the major gainers on the Nifty today. On the losing side, you have some IT names like HCL Technologies continuing their downward trend. JSW Steel is losing sheen. Eicher Motors, M&M, and Hindalco. These are the other stocks that are dragging the street right now. On the Sensex, if you see, it's only HCL Technologies that is really losing the trade. It's the top loser right now. You do have a lot of banking names, financial names, FMCG names, the capital good names, the pharma names, inching higher in the early trade today. But how long will this continue is something that you need to keep in mind. Of course, the earnings season is on, and there will be focus on specific stocks. Jindal Steel and Power, Federal Bank, Aditya Birla Money, Deep Diamond, Den Networks, Kesoram Industries, a whole host of, if you see L&T Technology Services, Oberoi Realty, Opto Circuits, from the mid-cap basket, a whole host of names will be coming out with their earnings. So focus will also shift right there. When we're talking about the mid caps and the small cap sectors, let's see how the broader markets are performing. They're also trading higher in tandem with the benchmarks, 0.2% uptick for the Nifty mid cap. Also, but the small cap 100 index is actually seen slipping away. The India VIX is down by 2.2 and it's below the 18 level, 17.9. So the volatility levels have gone down in the early trade. Among sectors, you have the weakness coming in now as we speak of 20 minutes 30 minutes into the trade. Nifty Bank is slipping away into the red. Just minor losses coming in there. So the PSU banks are the culprit here. That's what is really taking a beating because financial services and private banks are still higher. The metal index is losing sheen, 0.7% down. The IT index, of course, continues its downward run, 0.5% lower. And right now, if you see what's pulling up the index, supporting the index is the FMCG names, 1.16% higher. So FMCG stocks are in focus right in the early trade. So you have HUL, Britannia, these kind of stocks that are hovering near 1.5% higher or 2.5% higher. Tata Consumer Products, Nestle. So it's all the FMCG stocks that are really taking all the limelight, supporting the markets right now. In case you're a momentum investor, do keep an eye out on these FMCG basket stocks as well. So that's as far as the sectoral move and the stock move is concerned. Now let's come to the earnings factor. We have seen that L&T Infotech and ACC both have come out with their earnings, and brokerage houses have come out with their reports on these as well. So let's talk about the big one, ACC first. Now, Citi has maintained a buy rating with a target price of 2460. Although Q2, they believe, was slightly below estimates, costs are likely to be at their peak right now. They believe that industry pricing trends should remain muted, but valuations with upsides from potential synergies actually make it quite attractive bottom-up play. That's what Citi believes. Right now, it's hovering near about 2200 kind of level. So there is still an upside that they see. UBS similarly has a 2600 kind of a target on ACC from the current levels. There is an upside that they actually believe. And of course, L&T Infotech, that's another stock that is in focus. Remember, the IT stocks have been dragging on the earnings factor. L&T Infotech was trading slightly, muted before the earnings, but earnings have come in slightly better than what most of the other IT names have actually reported. So a modest beat in the Q1 numbers. There's a robust headcount addition that continues. There's a revenue growth, which is, however, tad bit below the consensus, but there's a strong outlook for Q2 that they give. EBIT margins and EBIT has beat the expectations, and that's led by the non-recurrence of the license fee and the higher forex. So some margins continue to be on the positive side. So Nomura over here has maintained a reduced call with a 3680 kind of a target. So despite the modest earnings, they have actually cut the target, and it is at 3680 kind of levels from the 3870 kind of current market levels that you're actually seeing. On the other hand, on L&T Infotech, Morgan Stanley is still positive, still believes there is little room on the upside. Target of 3,900, very, very little upside is what they see. They have maintained an equal weight rating on L&T Infotech. So that's as far as the specific stocks are also concerned. As we move forward, of course, Friday's trade, it's going to be the closing trade of the week. It's very important to track how the global markets, the US futures will be trading. And over here, the mid and the small caps could actually take the lead, and a very, very stock specific action and a sectoral focus could actually turn the play, because the index heavyweights, the index, especially the Nifty bank, they could still feel a whole host of volatility, as has been the trend going from the previous trades as well. So most of the experts believe that traders need to be very, very stock specific focused now, and investors also for the long term must now slowly and gradually start to build in their money. The positive commentary that now is changing for the markets from the experts is that earlier they were saying, stay away, we do not know whether the markets will fall lower. Now they do not see a potential very, very bad downside from the current levels, because the markets are not really reacting sharply to the bad news, which was the earlier case in the last 2 months. So that's the factor that we have coming to know. So we'll keep you posted with everything that's passing on the D Street, and that's important for you to know. Any stocks that will be coming onto your limelight because of the news flow, all of those things will be shared with you. So don't forget to stay tuned on to Business Today TV. Thanks a lot for tuning in for now.